Hey everybody, Sean O'Connor from Macabre Daily here, and I have two incredible authors with me. It is so exciting. I love looking at these faces. First is the coolest hair in horror. I've already said TM. I'm trademarking that. Meg Ripley, author of Necrology, is back again with us. Meg, I just absolutely adore seeing the pictures of you at StokerCon.
I
I
had the best time.
Your smiling face. It was so funny because I'd see pictures and I'd catch you in the if you weren't part of the subject matter, I'd catch you in the background and I'd get so excited. I'm like, there are my friends. And I was all the way in another state looking at it in a dark room, having crippling FOMO.
I grinned so hard, it was probably eerie.
Well, I bought my ticket for Pittsburgh for next year.
Excellent.
And I guess that brings us to our second guest, Robert Ottone, two-time Stoker Award winner. Now,
Oh,
Robert,
hi.
hi, those? Okay.
Okay.
Robert, you just won for your middle grade novel. There's something sinister in center field, possibly the best title of any novel ever,
Thank you.
including The Great Gatsby and all the Hemingways, all that good stuff. What, your first win though, was that for the Triangle?
Yeah, yep,
Okay.
that's correct.
Oh, it's so hard keeping up with your wins. And I got a participation ribbon for karate in fifth grade. So I won something too.
Excellent.
And once I
Awesome.
got that ribbon, I promptly quit because sports. Why?
It's true. It's true.
Okay.
I agree wholeheartedly.
I mean, sports, I did win. I won, I think it was the 2018 skate half marathon in Brooklyn in the women's category on quad skates.
That's badass.
Meg, I am going to write your biography. You have the most interesting life. This is Robert. This is Meg. One time we're emailing back and forth, and Meg is just like, "Oh yeah, I didn't know how to read then. I didn't learn until later on." And she's like, "Oh, that was when I was living in Nova Scotia." I'm like, "It's like a flash. The facts come off Meg so fast. I'm like, I can't keep up."
She's all over the place. Ugh.
There's gonna be an Academy Award winning documentary about you right now.
Crazy legs.
Oh, okay. What are we doing tonight? We're doing mockumentary horror. Before we get
Yes.
started, Meg's going to kick us off, and I'm looking at my time because I already told you to. I love to ramble. Can you guys help me out? Besides the perspective, what's the difference between found footage and mockumentary? I get my chocolate and my peanut butter on this all the time.
Yeah, I was
Does
thinking about
anybody
this. It's funny that
help
you
me
asked
out?
that. I think mockumentary is presented with talking heads, interstitials, talking heads, chyrons with the names and specialties, whereas found footage would be something that's just like, we found this footage. This is a black screen with white text. Here's what happened.
Okay.
Boom.
Okay. So a mockumentary can be found footage, and a found footage can be mockumentary.
100%.
All right. I was really torturing myself all day about
Like Blair Witch is like a nice dovetail of both because there are talking heads. However, those talking heads are part of the found footage. So it's kind of tough.
You know, Robert, I had it and I felt good about myself, and now I'm confused all over again.
I am so sorry. I'm so sorry.
All right, Meg, I'm so excited. If here are the rules. There are no rules. But if we happen to have the same movies, that's okay. We'll just talk about them at length. Sound good?
Okay. Sounds good.
Kick us off. What do you have?
Kick us off. I'm going to go with Ghost Watch, which I had never seen before. You listed it, and I loved it so much. I've been talking about it constantly. I think I just really love that. I don't know, the idea of a grand hoax.
Right?
I love the H.G. Wells. I remember hearing about the H.G. Wells War of the Worlds radio broadcast as a kid and thinking people were fooled by that. But alas, in the 90s, this mockumentary apparently fooled people when it aired on the BBC. So I love that. I love that it's got children in it. Anything with scary children or children being tormented is pretty much my favorite thing. And I just loved that it really deteriorated in the end. Like there was the host of the show, there was like the camera flowing by, there was like pages floating around. The crew on site had like descended into the basement. And I love any movie where, the villain can see you, but you can't see them.
Yeah.
And
I
although we also could see the broadcaster creeping down the stairs. I don't know if it was heat vision or night vision or what, I forget what it was, but there was that feeling like, oh crap, this Pipes has been watching the whole time, the same as we have, and that is really creepy. We had that in Predator, we had that in Silence of the Lambs, and it always freaks me out the thought that something can see me when I can't see it. And I also just really adored, it made me start thinking about Late Night with the Devil. And it was just like, oh yeah, there's been those things before. And Late Night did it just as well. Not the same. But I loved it. I
I
loved
did
it.
too. I really loved it. I know
Yeah.
I know it some people were a little mixed on it, but I thought Late Night with the Devil really nailed that feeling and that
Hmm.
vibe. Whether or not it was completely successful, hey, look,
Right.
that's anyone's own opinion, but I just love being immersed in that world where it's happening in like quote unquote real time. You know,
Hmm.
what I'll tell something interesting about Ghost Watch. So I had seen it maybe like a decade ago. And I was like, okay, it's okay, you know, clever. And then I caught it on Shutter, and I had looked at some articles about it, and they pointed out that Pipes is all over
Hmm.
Correct.
the poltergeist. Pipes is all over the backgrounds,
27 places.
27 places. So
Yeah.
it enriched the viewing experience, and it scared the pajamas off me. And I immediately fell in love with it. I was like, I don't know what I was thinking the first time. It really landed for me the second time. And now it's
Hmm.
one of my favorites. It's so clever and intricate. And I kind of love that about it, how they create this world. And it kind of starts out as like like a waka waka, we're just doing like a segment here on Halloween, and it's just, it's fluff. And by the end, there is the possibility that there has been a nationwide seance.
Right.
Pipes is interwoven throughout the fabric of our reality. And it's like it goes from 0 to 1 million. And
Yeah.
I love that about it.
I
Me too.
I have to say, Ghostwatch was my number one choice, so I'll just talk about it now, I guess. Ghostwatch is probably one of my 3 or 5 all-time favorite horror movies. Side note, and I know maybe we're not supposed to qualify these things or whatever. However, Ghostwatch directed by a woman.
Oh, nice. I didn't know that.
Yeah, remarkably important. I think the finest horror movie. If you're going to say like, oh, this is directed by this person, whatever. I think Ghostwatch is the best. But yeah, Ghostwatch has stayed with me for a very long time. My novel that is out on submission right now, that's been out on submission forever because publishers are weird, is very much inspired by Ghostwatch in a lot of ways. And Ghostwatch means the world to me. I bought the big special Blu-ray edition. It is the only reason I got Shudder at first was so I could see Ghostwatch finally without pirating it because I didn't believe in pirating it. And then I kept Shudder for a long time after, so it was a nice gateway drug into the Shudder world. But I haven't seen my wife bust my chops because she wants to watch Late Night with the Devil because I was getting major Ghostwatch vibes off that.
Yeah.
However, they use AI in
Oh,
Late
did
Night.
they?
Yes, for their little interstitial thing. So I was like,
Oh,
I'm out. Not gonna
okay,
watch it.
fair.
Can't do it.
Hmm.
So as much as I want to see it because I like the guy that's in that as well, I'll just rewatch Ghostwatch a million times and
Hmm.
get the real thing. You know what I
Right.
mean?
They've
Um,
never repeated the airing of Ghostwatch in the UK. It was one
Yeah.
and done.
well,
Yeah.
there was a kid who killed himself as a result of it. So yeah,
Yeah, that was my number one. Meg, you kicked us off right. Robert, that was your number one.
yeah.
Ghostwatch is really, I mean, look, there are a lot of people that stand hard for Lake Mungo.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Paul
And I
Tremblay.
love Lake Mungo.
Yeah,
but I
Paul
have to
Tremblay's a
say,
big Lake
yeah,
Mungo guy.
yeah. And Philip Glatt, who unfortunately couldn't make it tonight, we'll get Philip down the road in the fall, but he really wanted to talk about Lake Mungo. So maybe at a different time we'll give Philip that opportunity. It's the door's always open for Philip. He's adorable. All right, Robert. This is going to be such a hard one to follow up, but what do you have for us?
Hell House LLC.
Well, that's
I love Hell House LLC so much. I love that it's like a New York success story. Those dudes are from upstate. They filmed that, I believe, in Pennsylvania, but they're near the New York, Pennsylvania border. Hell House LLC is the only movie that I watched with my wife where I had to walk her around the room after it was done because she was so freaked out. And I am so freaked out by that movie every time I watch it. The sequels, the 2 and 3 are not very good. 2 is okay. 3 is awful. However, four is almost as good as the first one, and it's crazy to me.
Yeah.
But Hell House LLC, the original, is just a masterpiece, start to finish. It's terrifying. It's funny at points. It's also the rare horror movie where you're not really rooting against anyone. Because they're all very likable. That whole crew is
very nice people.
Yeah, it's like you want them to succeed. Like even the guy who's like, I'm very driven and this is my company. At the same time, like, no, it's his dough on the line. So I kind of get it why he's a bit of a dick. But Hell House LLC, I think, is remarkable. I think that should be talked about a lot more, considering how terrifying it is, how iconic that one clown dummy is. In my mind, I'm more scared of that than Art the Clown personally, but nevertheless, and just the location, the setup is terrifying. And the best thing about that movie, very similar to Ghost Watch, is when you go back and watch it, you see little things every single time that, like, oh my God, that happens later. Was that thing there before? No, that was like, I think of the part with the flashing light scene, and I'm trying to watch it, and I'm like, that's a person, that's a dummy, that's a ghost. That, like, it's just, chef's kiss. Hell House LLC.
I love that you pick that for the next movie because Ghost Watch had the BBC money behind it, so it had budget and it had production value. Hell House LLC is kind of the other end of the spectrum, which is really a through line of mockumentary and found footage, because these films often are done on the cheap. They rely on ingenuity as opposed to production value and special effects and budget. So you get these clever, intricate designs, and I kind of love mockumentary for that because it ties in with my love of practical effects, which is always, okay, we can't rely on digital wizardry, which I didn't have at the time with the golden era of practical effects. So they're like, okay, we've got some baling wire and some gelatin, and we've got some paper mache, and they come up with something incredible that then becomes iconic and lasts for decades to come.
I think I'm sorry, I didn't mean to, but a good example of something that, because when we did the practical effects thing, I feel like I really regret not mentioning this, but the full body burn in the movie Host, filmed during COVID. How did they do that? How did they light a dude on fire during COVID protocol filming a movie on Zoom?
I don't know. I literally do not know, and I kind of don't want. I'll eventually look it up because that what is life but to spoil everything magic.
but that speaks to exactly what you're talking about, like the ingenuity and cleverness of like what these guys can come up with when pressed. And they always say, even John Carpenter says stuff like that. Like when you have no money, the stuff your creativity carries the weight.
Yeah.
Right. And the low gloss, grittier, it works because you don't know those actors. It works because it looks bad, because it looks all the more real. It's what makes it seem authentic. What is going to let you suspend your disbelief in these moments is that it looks real.
Yeah. Perfect point, Meg. Hell House LLC is so familiar because, especially here in New York, we have all those haunted houses. Yes. Hell House LLC works because every room looks like you could get a splinter. It's so real, It's so real and lived in. And to your point, Robert, you kind of feel for these people. You're like, all right, you know what? You're kind of going all in on this, and it's an exciting idea, and I really hope it works for you. And you want them to win. They just happen to pick a really horrible location.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. I'll do my first. All right, we did Ghost Watch. I was so excited to talk about that, but I'm glad we did. Okay. I'm gonna go with Jaume. Oh, Jaume, what is your last name? Jaume, Jaume Paco Plaza and Jaume Balaguero.
I don't know this.
Rec 2.
Oh, okay.
The Rec franchise, the first one is very good. The second one is just incredible. And then they should, then don't worry about where it goes after that. But Rec 2 takes the mythology that was created in Rec 1. And for anyone who hasn't seen the film, an apartment building in, I believe it is, I suck at my job. I believe
Spain,
it's Spain,
isn't it? It's somewhere
Yeah,
in Spain.
it's somewhere in
It's
Spain.
not. It's not Barcelona.
It could, let's say Barcelona. It There's a little bit of an outbreak, viral outbreak, and all of a sudden, before you can say howdy doody, the apartment building is cordoned off by the CDC, and then like kind of like the military and the police, and it happened. It's almost like instantaneous. And that's Rec 1 is the story of the residents within the apartment building. Rec 2 picks up immediately after and introduces a priest that is in disguise, like kind of like a SWAT team, like kind of like a tactical force team that goes into the building. And then you find out what is actually happening is that the Vatican had isolated, like essentially like the gene of evil, and it's viral. And
Mhm.
the residents are infected with it, and they kind of turn into, for lack of a better word, zombies. And then it's just chaos and mayhem. But what I love about the second one is that while you have that, almost like that video game-esque feel to it, because it's first person, things are coming at you, and you have that perspective of shooting people and running, and it's very, it's frantic and kinetic and it's exciting. But what I really love about Rec 2 is that they take their time to really flesh out the mythology of the story, why this happened and how the gene was isolated and what it means to the world if it gets out. And then, of course, it ends. I guess I'll give a warning. If we happen to tiptoe into spoilers, viewers, sorry. Most of these movies are decades old, so that's. But at the end, it's just so nihilistic and
Mhm.
delicious, and I love it.
Excellent.
I love it for that. So.
It reminds me of like a mockumentary version of Prince of Darkness. In that way, like the idea that like, oh, we have to keep evil away and then of course it's infecting people around it. Like I never really hearing you describe it like that, I never would have like thought about it like that until now. So it's like that's really interesting that they did. And I'm not saying they ripped off Prince of Darkness at all, not even remotely close to saying that, but it feels like if you were to do a double feature of the two of them, that would make tonal sense.
And I do believe I will now do that next week. I will do a double feature of that. All right, Meg, what's your second choice? What do you got?
Can we talk about Lake Mungo, or we shouldn't?
Of
We should
course,
save
no.
it.
No,
Because I love it.
Lose.
I love it because honestly, the kickoff, some things I can't relate to. We emailed back and forth about Borderlands, and I absolutely loved it. But possession stories or hauntings, I'm not necessarily as attached to as sort of like something that would stem from the news, like a kid drowning. The kickoff of that is such an easy walk into that movie for me, and that you would read that in the newspaper, and those things happen all the time. It's not like and so for the way that movie starts off is sort of, I don't know, kind of plain Jane. It's unassuming, and then through like the course of a bunch of red herrings, we have the end, which is the most heartbreaking, terrifying thing is, seeing your own demise. It's terrifying.
Meg, I agree with you. The movie kind of starts out and you're like,
Eh,
nah.
okay.
And then it progresses and you're like, huh.
Oh, wow.
Progresses and you're like, oh, and then you get to the end and you're like, why?
I know. I like it for that reason. I love the multiples and or the, seeing things in images. I like the couple red herrings with the brother and stuff with the neighbor gets weird. I did not see that coming. A lot of it is very disturbing.
It is a basket of disturbing, but so well done.
So well done.
Lands, it's so I know this word is overused, but it is impactful. Like you're just at
Yeah.
the end of it, you're like, oh my
Yeah.
everything. Yeah.
It's crazy
Yeah,
that
and
those. Oh, I'm sorry, Matt. Go ahead.
no, go ahead. Go ahead. Go
I was
ahead.
gonna say it's crazy to me that those guys didn't really do anything else after
No.
Lake Mungo.
Yeah.
That's insane. Like they should have been given. So like the guy who did Host, right? Made Host great. Everything else he's made dog shit. The guys who made Lake Mungo should have been given that treatment when that movie came out.
Yeah, it's the only one, right? They're only one. So
That's
similar, I guess, with Blair Witch.
Yeah.
Well, that's. I mean, the Eduardo Sanchez. They did a Bigfoot movie.
Did they?
And they did a alien abduction movie. Both of which the Bigfoot movie's okay. The alien abduction movie is like, whoa. It's very body horror, and it is.
Oh wow.
Ooh,
Okay. Nice.
check that out. All right. All right, Robert, what do you have for us?
I have my last one already because we did Ghost Watch. We did that the what's it called? The second one that I said. What was the second one I said?
Don't worry, I got a
Hell
couple
House.
in my back pocket because I had
Oh,
a
yeah.
feeling this was going to happen.
Okay. All right. So if you're gonna come around to me again, I'll save this one for that. I'll throw this one out now because it's a movie that I feel like most people hate, but when I watched it, I loved it and it scared the shit out of me. Megan is Missing.
I
don't know what.
Yeah, Megan is. It's on Tubi, and
Okay.
it was made by a guy who is director of photography for all those horrible Ryan Murphy horror shows, and he just made this movie, and it feels more like a after school special kind of thing. It's basically like these two young girls get involved in talking to some guy online, and of course that goes really well for both of them, but it's just I've never, as someone who works with kids, right? Like the way that the kids talk in that movie feels very on point to me. And I know a lot of people are like, oh, it's so exploitative. It's so badly made, blah, 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 blah. I don't see anyone in our genre who complains about that movie trying to make anything that's as interesting as Megan is Missing. So, chirp from the cheap seats all you want. That movie is really great in my opinion, and that's another example of like why hasn't this guy made another movie on his own. I get staying with the editing and or the director of photography stuff, like that's great dough, but it seems crazy to me that he hasn't returned to the genre. And even in his own mind, he wasn't. I read an interview where he was saying like, I wasn't necessarily setting out to make a horror movie. I was really making a movie about like the dangers of this kind of scenario. And it just kind of lent itself to a horror movie. And it has an ending, like you're talking about the Lake Mungo ending, a very similar ending, I would say. Also extremely nihilistic and extremely dark and extremely uncomfortable to watch. It's like, I've seen people describe Megan is Missing as an endurance test, and I think that is a fair statement. I watched it alone at night when my wife was on Long Island and I was up here, and I like got up, I went outside, I smoked a CBD cigarette, I just stared out into the darkness for a little while, and I was like, whoa.
Robert, I love your life so much. I really do.
I'm gonna have to check it out. I'm gonna have to watch it.
Free on Tubi.
I'm
Got
gonna
it.
check it out as well. I love you nailed another through line of mockumentary and found footage, which is not a lot of happy endings.
No.
It's not. It's where you can either see how it's to see how you die at the end. And like
Yeah.
for a lot of them, like where where you're the good guy isn't going to make it out necessarily. You just see who makes the longest sometimes, long enough to see the chaos, whatever it's going to be.
It's almost like a choose your own adventure if you go back
Kinda.
because you see that point where you're like, oh, if you just went in
If
that,
you just went home. Yeah, I know.
yeah,
Yeah.
you were just like, you know what? I'm fine not finding Bigfoot.
I hope you guys like Megan is Missing when you watch it. I
sure I
fully
will.
expect you not to. It's a rough one. It's a rough one, especially if you have kids. It's a rough one.
I
Oh,
got those, but
yeah, I'm gonna watch it, but okay. All right. My second one is gonna be The Borderlands. Released here in the States as Final Prayer.
yeah.
Let's see, directed by Elliot Goldner and kind of continuing on what we've been talking about. Not a whole heck of a lot afterward. A lot of TV, you know?
Oh, really?
Yeah. Which, hey, Elliot, it's fantastic that you're working. But yeah, I thought that maybe Elliot would have gotten the chance to do something as intriguing and I was going to say spectacular. I don't know if I would call this movie spectacular. Just
Parts of it are.
parts of it are, it just ends. You're like, wait,
The
what?
ending, I love the ending so much. Like I watched it with my 13-year-old and like we both looked at each other, whoa.
What?
And honestly, the screaming is so sincere.
It is. And
Mhm.
then you process that of okay, viewers again, spoiler, you had your chance. Um, the fact that the church is built upon a pagan sacrificial altar to a pagan deity who happens to be a gigantic creature of some sort that is still there is so insanely delicious. I
It's
can't
incredible.
I want all of that. I just love it so much. And I really like the characters. Even though Gray was annoying, I saw a little bit of myself in Gray. I'm going to work on that. And Deacon was a curmudgeon, but I love
Yeah.
them. And, at the end, mockumentary, bummer ending, and this nails it. And you're like, of course it had to end like this. Of course it did.
It was perfect.
It
It
was
was a
so
perfect
good.
ending.
It's
Yeah.
I knew that we were in for the first time I watched it. I knew we were in for a different time. I really didn't know what kind of ride we were on. But when the kids burnt the sheep, which
Yeah.
really bums me out, any sort of
Hmm.
animal cruelty. But when the kids burnt the sheep, I was like, that was I was not expecting anything that jarring that quickly in the film. And
Hmm.
it kind of sets you off balance a bit, and you're like, oh, all right, I thought I knew what I was watching, and I love it when a film's like, no, you don't. No, we'll let you know what you're watching when the credits roll at the end. And I just love that because, horror film fan and avid moviegoer, you get high in your own supply and you're like, I know all the tropes.
Hmm.
Love it when a film puts me right back on my ass, where I belong.
When
Yeah.
I
Agree.
when I heard about that movie, the ending was spoiled for me.
Ah,
So I haven't
Bummer.
seen it. I haven't, and it kills me. So like ever since then, I'm fully spoiler free
ah,
with everything. That's yeah, like because that's a movie I'm always like, should I watch it? But then I'm like, I know how it ends. Like I feel,
Hmm.
like that. I hate that shit when that happens.
yeah, Robert, it's like the Blair Witch. If they tell you the ending of the Blair Witch, even though great film, but you're
Yeah.
like, okay, it
Yeah,
doesn't really have 90 minutes that I'm gonna devote. Nah, I feel the same way about Borderlands. I don't know, but I
Yeah.
want you to see this movie, but if it's spoiled, it's spoiled.
yeah. I hate that. That sucks so much.
It does. It does. Hey, well, maybe we'll get a concussion, and then
Oh, good. That's what I
Revisited
need.
anew.
all right, Meg, this is it. This is third round. What do you got?
This is it. How about the taking of Deborah Logan?
Yes, great movie.
I loved it. Honestly, I rewatched it again with my 13-year-old who was suddenly into watching these films with me. And it's, it actually harkened a little bit a new, maybe it's a newer film even, but and definitely not popular, but The Visit.
Oh yeah,
It's how
yes.
old people wandering around at night can be totally terrifying.
Yeah.
I plan to meet one someday.
Yeah. But back to Deborah Logan, I just think it was a nice touch. The crew coming in to talk about Alzheimer's. It was like sort of a realistic walk into something that had a good intention. And yeah, it was just I really liked how everything came together slash fell apart at the end. It was there was some super scary visuals.
And that ending, you
Mhm.
couldn't call that ending if
Oh
you
no.
could be a million and had a guess every minute. You couldn't come up with that ending.
With the kid standing there in the mouth and just the look on in her eyes, it's so excellent. And I also really like I've always been drawn to like a certain amount of either true crime, missing girls. I also love anything satanic panic. There's like a little bit of both of those in there. So it was like wonderful for me.
Oh, I love that choice. Great. You guys are crushing it. This is the best of mockumentary and found footage. I love it. All right, Robert. Now Robert's going to say he's going to name some obscure Turkish film from 1913.
Qu'est-ce que c'est? Qu'est-ce que c'est? So I don't want to say what this movie is dealing with because it's part of like the amazing reveal of it. If either of you have not seen it or people watching at home have not seen it, but it's called Savage Land. And
Haven't seen it.
Savage Land,
Like it's
if
good.
you're, yeah, see, like Meg, you mentioned the true crime angle. Watch
Oh
Savage
yeah.
Land, read nothing about this movie.
Okay. Just go in
So
blind.
I just want to say, like, first of all, I wear the things that I care about on my sleeve. So Savage Land dovetails very heavily into one thing that I'm very like a staunch advocate for. And it is so remarkable how this movie unfolds and how brilliant the filmmaking is, how brilliant the performances are. Everything about this movie is killer.
Robert, I'd
And
say that the film is very timely,
oh,
right?
for sure.
Oh wow. I've got a sneaking suspicion. I think I know I've got some ideas.
Yeah, it is. I gotta tell you, when I didn't, and this is actually weird. I didn't know what I was expecting watching it, so I went in completely blind, and I sat there like this the whole time. Like I couldn't believe it. I hadn't had an experience like that in a very long time.
Right?
And seeing Savage Land, and again, just watching it on Tubi, even with the ad breaks, was like a monumental. In my mind, I never need to see this genre of movie ever again because Savage Land was like, mic drop, we're done here. That's
Oh
it.
wow.
Go home, flops. Flop Tina Dupree, wrap it up, call it a career. Like it's done. And I have a feeling, Meg, you may feel the same
Mm-hmm.
way after
Mm-hmm.
this. But Savage Land, holy shit. What a masterpiece. And talking again about guys who have not really done a ton since they did a couple documentaries for NFL 360,
Okay.
which that's cool. And they've done some NBC. They did like Olympic type stuff. That's all cool, but it ain't Savage Land.
Mm-hmm.
But I also want to point out too, this is really nerdy. I'm sorry. I know we're getting close to the end, but Len Wein, who is one of the greatest comic book writers of all time, is in this movie as one of the talking heads, which is very cool. He created Storm from the X-Men. So, you know, he's in this. And when he popped up, I went, without even looking at the IMDb, I was like, oh, that's Len Wein. Holy shit. So, very cool.
Meg,
Awesome.
Savage Land is pretentious, not the movie itself, but it has fallen into that. When you talk to music lovers and you're talking about the Clash or something, and they're like, "Oh yeah, I mean, you know the hits, but do you have that bootleg recording
Oh
from
yeah.
Chase Stadium in '78?" And you're like,
Yeah.
"No, who has that?" That's
Right.
Savage Land. It's such a deep, deep, deep cut that it's kind of been glommed onto by horror nerds,
Okay.
pretentious horror nerds, which
Mm-hmm.
Robert, I'm going to give you a pass. I know I go into. I won't drag you with me, but that no reflection on the movie. It just happens to be one of those films that just like simmered on the stovetop forever, and then people are
Mm-hmm.
finally starting to discover it, which I love about it.
Yeah. I will tell you too that that ending montage when they
Ah,
show other people like who know the story of what happened, I'm like, right
Yeah.
there with them. I'm like 100%, 100%. It's so
We will not be
good.
silenced. Yeah.
Yeah, goddamn right.
Oh, Meg, do me a favor. Check
Watch
it
it
out.
tonight.
Oh,
Whenever,
I might. It's going to be a late night. I've got a couple things to watch.
whenever you get a chance, but let Robert and I know what you think about it.
Okay.
Yeah,
Just
yeah,
so
for
you
real.
I will.
I'm
I will.
dying to know.
And Robert, I'll do the same about Megan is Missing. I know it's going to bum me out because I have two girls and it's really going to bum me out, but I'm going to watch it.
Don't hate me. I'm sorry.
I want to leave time for you guys to promote, so I'm going to wrap it up here. My last one, I'm going to cheat. I'm going to pick two. It's District 9, which a lot of people don't remember is Mockumentary.
Great pick.
It's a narrative film, but it's one of the best films that came out that year. And again, I said I suck at my job. I don't know the year. Love District 9. Just everything about it. The hard sci-fi, the layers to the film about immigration. Again,
Yep.
So timely.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Such a timely film. And my cheat with this one, love District 9, is Cloverfield.
Mm-hmm.
It's my go-to. I like to pretend that I'm, like I said, I have my monocle on and I'm a pretentious horror fan. I love nothing more than a monster movie.
Yeah.
It's my favorite thing ever. You know?
Yeah.
I remember seeing like the commercials for Cloverfield and being like, this has to be a Godzilla movie.
Right.
It has to be. And then I saw it and I was like, I didn't like this other than the main guy's name is Rob, which never happens in movies, by the way. And it should happen more. But the funny thing is I think I own the steelbook of it because it's a cool looking steelbook and I've never watched it. I think I need to watch Cloverfield again because I love every fucking movie Matt Reeves has made after that.
Right? Cloverfield is great, but talk about a bigger budget.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Kind of love the fact that the cast of characters are they're like people that you sit next to on the train and you're like, I don't know why I'm judging you. I don't really I shouldn't be. They're just like mildly annoying. They're not hateable, but they're just mildly annoying enough that you're like, if you get swatted, I think I'll be okay with this, you know?
I will say Lizzie Kaplan. I have a thing for scowly brunettes because I married one. And Lizzie Kaplan in that movie, it was the first thing I ever saw her in, and I was like, my goodness, who are you?
Robert's like, hello, Miss Kaplan.
Yes, welcome to the fold. But yeah, so big fan of her. But yeah, I need to watch that again. What was the first one you said? District 9?
District 9.
District 9 is so great. That's another one too.
So great.
Where like I love Neil Blomkamp a lot. Like I think he's so cool, and I really wish we had gotten his Halo movie. Yeah. But I'm glad District 9 exists out of the wreckage that was the Halo movie that he was doing, and also Elysium.
I love Elysium.
That movie rules.
It rules, both of them.
I love Elysium, and someday people will find that film again. I don't know why they didn't, but they'll.
I've been saying that about Reign of Fire with Christian Bale for about 30 years now, so I get it.
If you guys want to do, putting this out there for the fall, I'd love to have you both back. If you guys want to do a Reign of Fire, Dragon Slayer double feature, and we'll talk dragon movies.
Yes.
Yeah. 100%.
Yep.
Yes, please and thank you.
Yes.
Okay.
Great.
I love it. I love it. And if either one of you can come up with one or two other dragon movies, I'm open to it. But those two we're absolutely going to talk about.
Okay. Sounds good.
All right. That wraps up our mockumentary. I think we did it justice. But I want to give time to promotion.
Oh.
Because you two...
I'm going to go fast.
You two are two of my favorite people. Meg, have at it.
Necrology came out last September. It's still on the go. It still feels new to me. I don't know if it feels new to anyone else. I just handed in Wood Feast, which is the second half of the duology, which doesn't come out until fall 2026. And then I have other projects on submission, but yeah, that's it for me. You'll see me around. Check out my events page on my website.
You made me very, very, which I guess the show notes are down here below. The website is right there in the link, so please click on it. And please follow Meg on Instagram and Robert as well. And Robert, your link is right below as well. All right, Robert, what do you got for us?
I'm about to go into edits on the third part of my young adult horror, cosmic horror trilogy called the Rise trilogy. The first one I won the Stoker for. It's going to be coming from Undertaker Books in the fall. And this third one's called The Navigator. I really love it. I got super weird and talk about sort of unexpectedly dark endings. This one has a pretty dark one. So yeah, there's that. I have in 2026 from So Below Books, the Triptych of Terror, 1998, with Monique Asher and Alyssa Alessi, where we are all writing a horror story that takes place on the same July night in 1998. Mine is done. Mine is turned in. And mine is called Schlocking. Gross. And I have a story coming out in the Poison Soup anthology, along with an essay. And that is about talking about like our things that influenced us, like our nostalgic horror. So I did a little Universal Monsters type thing.
Awesome.
Fantastic. Meg, you made me so happy tonight saying that you've submitted the second
Wood Feast. It's
comment.
called Wood Feast.
Ah,
Feast. Oh, wait. Can I plug one more thing?
Sure.
Everybody buy John Collins's The Leeds Point Horror. Everybody buy it now. Buy it. If you don't buy it, this is the mistake of the year.
I've seen lots of posts about it. So
yes. You are a fool if you do not buy this book. You don't need to buy the bigwigs book. Stephen King's got something coming out. Save your $20 and buy this. He doesn't need your dough. Okay?
John, the review will be coming out in 2 weeks. John crushed it. But I'm talking with two authors that crush it on a regular basis. I am surrounded by talent, and I thank you both so much for coming on. Really do enjoy these chats.
Been fantastic.
Thanks.
We're going to talk dragons. Meg, I'm going to get you back for the fall, though. I have a couple of ideas. I'm going to email you.
I'm ready.
I got things that cooking. And Ottone, I see you like every other day. I told we were doing a panel last week. Meg, I said, Robert, it feels like summer camp in your top bunk. I see you so much.
Awesome. No, I love it.
I absolutely love it. Okay, I know you've got to go. Thank you both again for coming on. This will post next week. I'll let you both know. And then I will promote all of your stuff on our social media. And Macabre Daily simply loves you both.
We love you.
Bye, everybody.